discussion involved. The easy one is 257. Section 257, the Nelson County Board of Supervisors passed a resolution in August asking that the 12.7-mile stretch of the Tide River up from where it joins the James be designated as scenic.
Okay, we have the appropriate work here as far as okay. All right, this would be the simple one then, and properly support this Senate Bill 257, which would designate a portion of the Tide River as any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that bill is reported.
Okay, Senate Bill 258. Back in about 1996, JLARC did a study that in the end recommended that the law enforcement divisions of the Department of Game and Fisheries and Marine Resources be consolidated. It found that most of the Atlantic State like agencies have been consolidated. There are all sorts of law enforcement efficiencies to be created. They do the same kind of work. They care about the same kind of things. They're just in different parts of the state. Communications will be enhanced. Obviously, employee morale will be enhanced. What this bill does is direct the Secretary of Natural Resources to develop a plan for the consolidation of these agencies. And we've been all about saving money. This, in the front end, I don't think it will save that much money, but I think it will over the course of time. I think it will create efficiencies. It will save a significant amount of money.
Okay. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this legislation?
My name is Sean McGowan. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia Police Benevolent Association. We represent the majority of the law enforcement divisions of both the NRC and DGIF, who are members of our Conservation Police Officers chapter. We've done our research, we support this bill, and I have a board member here to speak to you all also, and we can answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rich Koski, and I'm the political action chairman of our Natural Resource Police chapter. Basically, again, we thank Senator Deeds. We went to him and asked for this, the employees of both agencies. We did a survey. The majority of our officers want to combine because they see the efficiencies. The Office of the Inspector General has just completed a review of 3,400 pages, which we just received last night. And from what we find, they also support consolidation of these functions. So we have 2 states left in the East Coast that have separate marine and wildlife agencies. Being us in North Carolina, and I think North Carolina is looking to also merge. Florida did it about a decade ago, and the report is that they're saving $1.2 million every year through a merger. With Virginia spending less than 1% of its budget on natural resources in Virginia, spread over multiple agencies, consolidation also makes sense in order to create those efficiencies, better utilize those funds. Specifically, law enforcement. A combination of these law enforcement divisions would enhance public safety, homeland security, and protection of our natural resources. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Senator Deeds, others for presentation. Anyone here speaking?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Kirby Birch, Chairman of the Commonwealth Sportsmen's Alliance. The Sportsmen's Alliance is made up of fishermen, including the Bass Federation nationwide with us, Virginia Hunting Dog Alliance, trappers, shooters. We oppose this bill, not just a little bit, but very strong. It is the sportsman's money that we're talking about saving, and it's penny wise, pound foolish. What you're doing is you're taking dissimilar agencies that have a dissimilar constituency, and you're trying to combine them. But by combining this bill, and Senator Deeds has been a long-time friend of sportsmen, I don't mean him any disrespect. But the problem remains that you're going to move law enforcement from marine resources under DGIF and leave the scientists, the biologists that are setting the regulations under marine resources. This is yet one step to combining all of the natural resource agencies and a DNR type of agency, which has come before us. It came before us when I was the head of DCR. It came through many of these studies. We've seen it before. The sportsmen of Virginia don't want their monies commingled. They don't want them removed. VMRC is a very good organization, and we support it very strongly, and my vice chairman sits on the Recreational Fisheries Board. We support them. They do a great job, and they're vital to the commerce of this great Commonwealth. The sportsmen, on the other hand, DGIF is not generally regulating commercial entities. The sportsmen urge you to vote no on this bill.
Okay. Others to speak in opposition?
Chairman Hanger, members of the committee, I'm Tommy Kellum with W. Kellum Seafood. We're a fourth-generation oyster processing firm located in Lancaster County. I'm also Vice President of Virginia Seafood Council, and we adamantly oppose this bill. First of all, I know you've got a time constraint, but I'd like to publicly thank this committee for the work and the faith that you've had in the Virginia oyster industry. I can report to you for the first time in my adult lifetime, we're once again a force in the United States oyster industry, and a lot of the work that this committee has done has put us there. Going back to the bill, with all due respect to the patron, the culture differences at DGIF and VMRC are such that you've got the recreational component of DGIF and the economic component of VMRC. Senator Hanger, you, Senator Stewart, many of you have seen our operations and know the millions of dollars of private money that's been invested in the aquaculture industry, and we're very concerned that we would see the same thing that Maryland has seen. They combined their equivalent of DGIF and marine resources, and what happens on the opening day of deer season and the opening day of oyster season, the law enforcement ends up in the woods, and the marine resources side of the oyster industry go unattended. We're very concerned that we would see that same thing. We've got a lot of money invested. The state has invested a lot of money in a public resource that needs protection. And another element is the food safety side. Virginia has a very stringent and a very respected shellfish food safety program that's enforced by VMRC. That's done in conjunction with VDH, Virginia Department of Shellfish Sanitation. And that's recognized by FDA as an interstate commerce component that allows companies like mine to sell resource throughout the country. My company in particular ships product to about 32 different states. If that enforcement is not there to oversee those health department regulations, we could lose our interstate commerce ability. And we're very concerned about that. And in addition, and recently speaking with some of the law enforcement officers, I think they're concerned about some of this. The surveys that were done, I'm not so sure that it was all encompassing of exactly what this entails. So we would respectfully ask that you not report this bill. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Others to speak?
Mr. Chairman, could I ask Mr. Kelly a question? Sure. Most respected oysters in the United States.
Absolutely.
And what was the total estimated economic value this past year as a banner year?
It was $15 million, and that was preliminary, and it's believed that when the final count is done, it'll be about $17 million.
And if we have one blemish on that, then you can't sell your oysters out of Virginia, correct?
Correct.
And currently, you all sell them as far as the West Coast.
We do, and actually last year was the first year our company exported 3 containers to Asia, which would obviously international transport would also commerce would also be banned.
Are you aware of game inland fisheries and their law enforcement division have had any interaction on these oyster issues at all, or any experience in it?
I'm not.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. As you were aware, we talked, there is concern about this, and indeed your bill will just have to develop a plan. Would you be amenable to, if you carry the bill over, issues?
That'd be amenable to that. And the bottom line is New York and Pennsylvania have interests similar to ours. And they're going to, this is the way we're talking, we always look for ways to save money, we look for ways to create efficiencies, we look for ways to create morale. I'd certainly be willing to have the bill carried over and ask the agencies to work together on it. But I mean, the Inspector General's report, I just had a preliminary document of their findings. Apparently, they just issued a report last night that said basically the same thing that J. Hart said 18 years ago. We can save money, we can create efficiencies doing this.
Okay. Any problem from fellow sewers? Isolated issues. These two agencies just to delineate the issues, the positives and the negatives of a possible merger. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.